I desire to live an orgasmic life of cosmic proportions, and maybe you do too. These are my musings on how to make love with life. This is the Soulgasm series. How to remember who we really are, to know our sacred purpose and live it. Let's light our inner passion fire together. Let's get turned on to life. I'm Jenna Allen, and we're making love in these Soulgasm Smalltalk sessions. Today's topic is all about our sacred purpose. Our sacred purpose is about what we're being invited to versus what we're reaching for. You might be invited to up your exercise game or meet your next goal, but often people feel thwarted or struggle to stay committed. And oftentimes that means that we're not following our sacred invitations. So we're struggling to manifest. Sometimes we're reaching out for goals that are not divinely intended for us. Sometimes we just need to access or build or cultivate the proper support systems, skills that we need, or simply get ourselves out of the way and let divine's great architecture build its creations through us with a magnitude and a power bigger than what we thought possible. Our desires are what lead us toward our sacred invitation, but those desires are guiding you onto the right path that you may not have any idea about. For example, I started out as a Montessori teacher about 13 years ago, took the Montessori teacher training, was working in a Montessori school. I knew for sure at that point that I was going to own a Montessori school one day and that this would be my career forever. But events transpired and things happened. And now I'm a psycho-spiritual coach to sacred regenerators and professional coaches and therapists and counselors and alternative esoteric practitioners, something I never thought that I would be into. But being a Montessori teacher, I realized that what I liked more and most about my job was coaching the parents on how to engage with their children in healthy ways and talking about the psychology of children to these parents. And so when the economic bubble bursts back in the day when I was working this Montessori job, the Montessori school had to cut back and I wasn't able to work there. So that actually helped me realize what I liked the most about that job. And I began on a path to start a new career as a life coach. And so here I am, right? So a lot of times our desires are leading us on a path, and the ego mind may think this is the path, this is it right here. But that path is actually a way to what's real, what's our soul's intention, and what our true heart is really desiring, right? And so knowing how to tap into this sacred invitation, we can develop the skills that it takes to focus on our pinpoint of purpose. And our pinpoint of purpose is a running theme of expansion and growth that's available to us. And so knowing the unique and sacred purpose that you're being invited to will change your life completely and create a new sense of calm and peace in phenomenal proportions and in ways that you never knew were possible. answering these sacred invitations will often draw us from the comforts of familiarity and into the bravery of vulnerability. And a program that I have is called the Embodied Warrior series, which we will talk about later. But if you think of warriors, they have the bravery to face things. And I think that our subconscious mind, my history as a hypnotherapist for the last 12 plus years, lets me know that our subconscious mind avoids things that are unfamiliar to us, avoids vulnerability, avoids the levels of change that we need to actually access this joy, because it either doesn't know the systems or the steps, it's afraid of success in some ways, it's afraid of change or expanding. This part of our mind is deep in the subconscious, or some of us may be conscious of it and able to work through it. And one way of doing that is answering these sacred invitations. And it really takes skill to navigate these new territories and cultivate an empowering relationship with what I call the unknown or the great mystery. Some call it the Tao or life force or the universe or God, the divine, whatever that is for you, right? And answering the sacred invitations cultivates and requires this trust in the great mystery of the unknown. It's at the heart of creating the fulfilling life that we're looking for, and tapping into the signs which are pointing us toward our sacred purpose is where we start. How we are being invited to expand is communicated to us through the challenges that lie before us, and in the knowledge of the cycles and the rhythms that we're meant to move through as cyclical divine beings. For example, if we're trying to push when it's a time to receive, then our energies will be wasted and our manifestations will be out of alignment with the wellspring of grace that's waiting to flow through all of life's gains and pains, joys and losses, and fumbles and successes. When we identify our sacred purpose, where we've precisely been invited to expand on a soul level, we move out of the spiritual bypassing culture that's developed, which I call the positivity trap. And we learn to turn toward and embody all of who we are, the light and the dark, giving equal value to both of those with reverence and with honor. And as lineage healers, we are all here healing the ancestral patterns that have been passed down through generation after generation, right? And I am absolutely blown away again and again of how every area of a client's life or my own life, as I'm going through this process, will relate to and center around this divinely ordained purpose, and how quickly lives change, which is why I brought this process and these systems together for people, because it was working so amazingly for me. And quickly changing my own and my clients' lives, yet in a way that is so gentle and so graceful that we don't even realize how much change has happened until we look back at what we've created and that change that we've generated through these processes, the magnitude of what we've cultivated, and our jaws just fall open in amazement of how much personal growth and absolute turnaround someone can experience by simply taking the time to focus. Focus on the signs that are showing us what we're being invited to. Focus on the ways we can answer that invitation, and molding all of the priorities, or molding the priorities of all the areas of our life around this central personal development or spiritual focus. The process of letting go of our own intentions and opening to where spirit is leading you ushers in this new version and new vision of what you really wanted, moving toward what your soul wants. And it's always so much better than what we thought we could have wanted. If you're here and you're watching this video right now and you're ready for a new up-leveling, it's calling you. How will you answer that invitation? RSVP below. I RSVP yes to the sacred invitation that I'm being called to. Do you? Our next video, I'll give you an exercise on personal development that's personal development focused. And then we're going to get a little bit more woo-woo in the coming videos, looking at lunar cycles, numerology, and using archetypes of the tarot and oracle, which all support us in identifying our sacred purpose and the expansion that's calling us. So I look forward to sharing that with you. Remember now to like, share, and subscribe. My sacred regenerators, my practitioners of the sacred, menders and wounders of the souls, of the wounded souls, feel free to reach out if you're called. If you're called to getting in on some sacred purpose sessions or to join a sacred purpose group, I will link the information below here.